Hi guys, welcome to another Gold Lap guide. Now this time we take on the Catalunya GP circuit with chicane in the McLaren 650s in the latest online lap time challenge. I've currently got a time in the top 100, so I'll show you what I did to achieve that. This is quite a technical circuit and there's lots of little details I want to share with you, so stick around to the end. I'm sure you'll pick up a few helpful tips. So coming down to the first corner, the first braking point is this little black flag marker, and try and use some of this curb on the left hand side to try and open up the entry to this corner. Now I'm going to break down into second gear. I'm going to try and be quite aggressive on the curbs as we go in. So we're heavy on the brakes, down to second gear, and I'll take plenty of curb on the inside. As soon as you get to the apex, start to apply the power. You can take all this curb on the left hand side as well, quite aggressive there, and get the full power down into the next section. Now this next little bit is quite technical, so I'll just try and break it down as best I can. The first point of interest is just as this fence starts to end on the right hand side, start to come off the throttle, and the goal here is trying to keep the car on the inside as much as you can until you spot that, and that is the signal to get back on the throttle. Just zoom in a little bit there so you can see it better. As soon as you see that, start to apply the throttle and use all the circuits on the left hand side as you go through. Don't go too far because you will spit off into the left hand side and it will invalidate your lap. So the next braking point is either just before the 50 on the left hand side or a couple of meters before this bridge starts. You have to sort of eyeball this one a little bit and get a feel for it, but I'm going to break down into second gear. Now I'm going to trail the brakes a little bit on this one as well, down to second gear. Avoid getting stuck on the inside because it'll ruin your exit. As soon as you feel comfortable and you think the car's rotated enough, get back on the power as aggressively as you can. Use all that circuit on the left hand side. And the McLaren I stay in third gear. And the next braking point is just as this little fence on the left hand side starts to end, I then break down into first gear. And again, we're trying to get a good exit here, so I don't quite take the full apex, but we get away with it a little bit. Down to first, flick it up into second just before we start to power out, and as soon as you feel comfortable, get the full power down. Use all the circuit on the right hand side and get a good exit out of that corner down to the next one. Now this next one's a little bit tricky. The braking point I like is just before this curb starts on the right hand side, and I break down into second gear. Now whatever you do, don't get attracted to the AstroTurf on the inside because it's very, very slippery. Just try and take as much of this red and white as possible in second gear, and again, when you feel comfortable, get back up to full power as quick as possible. You can go over this little bit there, not a problem at all. I'm using the end of this curb as a marker, stay in third gear and just apply between a 20 and 40% brake pressure just to start to get the car slowed down a little bit and get it turned in, and hopefully you'll have the car rotated enough by the time you get to the middle of the corner, or roughly where this little sausage is on the inside. At that point you should be able to apply near enough full power and power out to the left hand side of the circuit. Use all that circuit there for the best exit. Now coming into the final sector, the next braking point is where this little light marker box is, which lives just before the 100 marker. I'm going to break down into first gear. Now I'm going to take a bit of this curb on the inside here and probably take a little bit too much, possibly. Unsettles the car a little bit. Get a bit of a wiggle on there with too much power, but we get away with it. Up into second, up into third, and roughly where these tyre marks start, just before this corner, I'll start just to drop the speed just there. Now I use second gear around here, some people use first. And the trick is here, just try and manage your speed so you don't go too wide here. Roughly where this sausage is on the inside, or just before it, you want to start increasing your speed. Use all the circuit on the left hand side for the best possible exit. Next braking point, just this little tyre mark on the red and white curbing. I break down here into first gear. So approaching the corner, down into first, flick up back into second again just before the apex. Back on the power, try and hustle it between these two corners. Next braking point, just before this tower starts, or this gantry starts, and break down into first gear. Now the goal here is try to set up the last corner and get the best exit down the start finish straight. And the way I found to do that is, as you're coming in here, you want to try and get your right hand tyres onto this red and white curbing just there, and your left hand tyres onto this bit of curbing just there. I'll show you this in chase cam and some pictures just to give you a better idea about it. So as we're coming in, right hand tyres onto there, and then the left hand tyres on that bit, and hopefully it shouldn't disrupt the car too much to give you the best chance of getting a good exit there. Last corners flat out in third gear, use all that circuit on the left hand side, and we go across the line in 1 minute 44.978, which is currently good enough for 1.25%, and at time of recording 97th in the world. So thanks very much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Hope you've got some value out of this. If you are really looking to improve your lap times, this video might help. Thanks very much, take care, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.